In today's video, we've got an update on a great franchise that is not dead yet. On top of that, we've got a major update to one of the PlayStation 4's better free-to-play titles, and then at the end of this video, we'll also be taking a look at some of the bigger PlayStation 4 game releases this week. Nothing too big budget this week, but a couple of cool titles to definitely keep your eyes on, so I'll be speaking about that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about a franchise that we are personally big fans of, and that is Deus Ex. Unfortunately, the last Deus Ex game in Deus Ex Mankind Divided, while it had its great elements, overall it did falter in some areas, especially in the storytelling department, and considering it's Deus Ex, that was very disappointing. And not to mention, it was also disappointing from a commercial standpoint. The game didn't sell as well as expected, and the future of the Deus Ex franchise was in limbo for quite a bit. We didn't know if this was a franchise that was gonna die off, and that would be very unfortunate if it did, but Eidos Montreal has reassured that the series is here to stay. David Onofansi, the studio head at Eidos Montreal, said in a video interview that the series isn't dead, and he said that Eidos Montreal has not forgot about Deus Ex. He added with this, quote, "We just need to think about the future of it and make it correctly and respectfully. What I can say is Eidos Montreal has always developed Deus Ex, and the issue is we do not have limitless resources. We have several big titles that we work with, and that's partly a factor in what our lineup looks like. Of course, it would be ideal if we could work on all of them all the time, but the fact of the matter is some titles have to wait their turn. The reason there isn't a Deus Ex right now is just a product of our development lineup because there are other titles we are working on. So a Deus Ex game is not in development at this current moment. However, Eidos Montreal and Square Enix has definitely not closed the door on the franchise, and it's one of the more beloved franchises in all of gaming. While Mankind Divided wasn't everyone's favorite game, it was still a pretty solid game, and from its gameplay elements, I would say that it was an improvement over Human Revolution, but as I mentioned, the story had a lot of issues. Technically, the game had issues on a lot of platforms, PlayStation 4 and PC included, and of course, as I mentioned, commercially, it just did not perform up to par. But a future Deus Ex title, maybe after the series takes a little bit of a break and it's fresh in gamers' minds again, it could be something to check out. And by the way, a lot of you guys may have just recently acquired Deus Ex Mankind Divided, as it was a PlayStation Plus title back in January, so if you've yet to play, give it a shot. If you've been turned off by what a lot of gamers have said about the title, yes, the game isn't absolutely perfect. Again, from a technical standpoint, it is a little bit rough around the edges, but there's still a lot to like with Deus Ex Mankind Divided, so make sure you give it a shot. Moving on from that, the PlayStation 4 free-to-play game in Dreadnought has seen a massive update with patch 3. There's an official game update notes that we'll leave in the description box down below, but Dreadnought is one of the better free-to-play titles on the PlayStation 4, a game that was in development for a very long time, but finally released in December of last year. And just to go over the blog post a little bit, it says you no longer need to buy new ships with credits. While you still need to research a ship with a comparatively much smaller amount of XP than before, you'll just have to research and buy a certain number of modules. Once you've met these requirements, you'll be able to claim a ship in the next highest tier. Same unlock mechanic also applies to officer briefings now. On top of that, ship tech trees have been simplified and streamlined by removing some of the branching requirements. Now you can progress faster towards the modules you want, and you can leave the ones you aren't as excited about in the dust. If you've already met the module research requirements in the tech tree prior to this release, you will immediately be able to claim your new ship. Each ship tech tree now features a progress bar which shows the number of items you'll need to research and buy to claim a ship in the next highest tier. They have a breakdown of the exact modules required at each tier, so check that out if you are interested. And if you've yet to check out Dreadnought, make sure to give it a download. Again, it's absolutely free to play. While there are options to invest real money in it just to get a taste of the game, you can do that absolutely free. It's on PlayStation 4, and if you want to play it on PC, you can do that as well. Lastly, I do want to go over some exciting PlayStation 4 game releases this week. A lot of pretty good titles, so let's talk about them. First of all, we have Tacoma, which is making its way over to the PlayStation 4. It's been on PC and Xbox One for a little bit. It was an exploration game developed by Fulbright. Now, if you don't know Fulbright Studio, shame on you. First of all, they did Gone Home, was a fantastic game. And Tacoma was a very well-received game as well. Not quite as well as Gone Home, but it's got some great storytelling elements. And it does have a 79 on Metacritic. Destructoid gave it a 9 out of 10. Game Informer an 8.25, IGN gave it an 8.5, PC Gamer gave it an 84 out of 100, so you can see pretty good scores across the board. Maybe a game you don't want to pick up right away at full price, but definitely down the line on a sale, a game to check out. This one I could very well see being a PlayStation Plus title down the line as well. I believe Gone Home was a Plus title, so you kind of have that relationship already forged, so that's something to keep in mind as well. We also have Through the Woods, a very exciting horror game originally released on PC back in October of 2016. Now it's making its way over to the PlayStation 4. It's a third-person Norse horror adventure game. Looks to be very atmospheric. horror games have seen a major resurgence this generation. We also have Agony coming out later this month, but if you want your horror fix a little bit earlier, Through the Woods might be a nice title to check out. And then finally we have Laser League, a futuristic sports game by Roll7. Roll7 are the guys that also did the great Ollie Ollie. That was a terrific game. That was a sports title as well, a little bit different of course. Laser League has 2 teams of 2 or 3 players apiece compete to outlast their opponents by setting up moving lasers in an area. It'll be hitting on May 10th, so another one to keep your eyes on. And by the way, Tacoma is hitting on May 8th. Through the Woods is also on May 8th, so some games to keep your eyes on. That's gonna conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Deus Ex still being alive? Would you like to see another Deus Ex title, or did Mankind Divided turn you off? I know personally speaking, I would love another Deus Ex title, but it looks like we're not gonna see it anytime soon, and it looks like it's not in development right now, but in the future, hopefully it does make a comeback. Let us know your thoughts on the brand new Dreadnought update. Is this a game you're gonna check out? Again, it's absolutely free to play, and they are touting this as the biggest update thus far, so that's pretty cool. Let us know if you're checking out any of the brand new games this week. We've got Tacoma, we've got Through the Woods, and we've got Laser League. Not huge titles, but some pretty good games that you might want to pick up down the line during a PlayStation Store sale, which we've been seeing a lot these days. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.